Hello and welcome to Ham Nation, episode 616 for January 28th, 2026. And how you doing, everybody? I am Josh, KI6NAZ. Thanks for coming on out here to Ham Nation this week. Wrapping up January, so stay tuned. We're going to be giving away an Icom radio. Thanks, everybody. Link in the description. Make sure you sign up for that so you don't get left out. But anyway, let's say hi to our friends, our hosts. Host, how you doing this week?
Lovely.
Lovely.
Thawing out.
Yeah, we all talk about the weather here because Winter Field Day was last week, and I did it, but I feel like we have a unfair advantage because I think the lowest we got was 40 in the morning, maybe. Yeah. So, but Gordo, how you doing?
We were 39 in the morning here,
Wow.
and we were like 35 at Quartz Fest, which was a huge 500 ham success.
Fantastic.
Wow.
And Don, how you doing today?
We're good. We've been mid-20s at night
Mm.
and then warming up into the 50s during the day, which is pretty nice. So I think we're supposed to be close to 60 tomorrow, but then Saturday night it's supposed to be 17. So we've got another front coming through, but no snow like we had here in the Gulf South a year ago. So I'm thankful for that.
That's right.
We're going to have a cool show tonight. One of my favorite people, favorite guests that we always had on Ham Nation is on tonight. We will, I'll let Amanda tell you who that is coming up in a little bit, but we've also got a fresh solar update from Dr. Timothy Scove along with the Newsline package tonight. Josh, that's what we got.
Excellent. And Amanda, how are you on this fine evening? Trying to stay warm. It sounds like Colorado, you got hit by the cold snap.
We were like at the very fine edge of it. So we did get some snow, but when it gets that cold here, we usually don't get a lot of snow, unfortunately. So we might have gotten 2 inches out of it. But yes, we are all thawed out. But I did have a fun time playing in Winter Field Day. I was working on getting my affiliated clubs in the logs, and there was certainly a lot of clubs on the air. And heard everything from my biggest one was 8 mic. Now, isn't 8M mobile?
Yes.
How did they do that? I was very curious about that.
They got a party van.
I guess. Anyhow, maybe one of like a Taj Mahal, like Ray drives, to go to Quartz Fest and stuff
exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I had a fun time listening to everybody on Winter Field Day, and so many people talking about the weather where they were at, and they're soldiers. That's all I can say.
We weren't soldiers. We were by the beach, and we were 12 Oscar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big group.
Big group.
Big group. Yeah.
But we had really nice weather, so we just camped. We were just hanging out. So we cheated. We feel like we cheated because of the weather, but how
Did you do some of the fun bonuses? Like, did you do 12 bands and stuff like that?
We hit every bonus except for QRP because we were running 100 watts.
Whoa.
Wow.
Every
Congratulations.
bonus.
Good.
And we did over 1,000 QSOs.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I brought in a guest tonight, and we're going to get to her. We have Virginia, November Victor 5 Foxtrot visiting us. And if everyone remembers her wonderful journey of sharing with us, building Johnny number 5 from the movie, just
Short
slipped my
Circuit.
head. Short Circuit.
Short Circuit. Yeah.
I couldn't get out of Circuit City. That's it.
That's right.
That's
Circuit
a whole
City.
different horror show.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
The Geek Squad were trying to get him from
So anyhow-
when he was at Circuit City.
Virginia's going to be sharing with us how her journey's going and about her beautiful QSL designs and some of her other wonderful artistry. And I can't wait to see it. But we're going to go to Gordo first, and Gordo's going to catch us. Oh, no, we're not. We have a special gift that we've received from John Amadeo. And we received this December 31st. Now,
Sorry,
mind you,
John.
I remain stone cold sober. And I still forgot this numerous times. So I have no excuse, John. But he did want to gift us this video to remind us of some fun times in the past. And Josh is going to play it now. Roll it,
Better late
Shirley.
than never.
Hi, Ham Nation viewers. John Amadeo, AA6JA here. I'm one of the producers of the Last Man Standing television series. Some of you may know that on the show, Tim Allen's character, Mike Baxter, is a ham with a fictitious call sign KA0XTT.
Mike, KA0XTT. Just a little shout out. Anybody having a good time here on Thanksgiving? Anybody hiding in their basement to avoid their relatives?
In real life, Tim has his own real call sign. Because of our interest in amateur radio, we've always had radio equipment on the show. A number of crew members are licensed, so of course we hook the radios up to antennas on the roof of the stage. As we enter our 9th and possibly final season, I want to give a shout out to Ham Nation. From the show's beginning, we've enjoyed a special relationship with Ham Nation, starting with Bob and Gordon's visit to our set in Season 1.
K9 Echo Italy Delta, K9 EID calling CQ 20 meters and listening.
K9EID. Hi, Bob. Boy, fancy meeting you here. Gordo, WB6NOA. What's new, Bob? Go ahead.
Hey, Gordo, WB6NOA. This is K9EID. It's nice to hear you. Boy, you sound great. I hope everything's going well and things are good out there in good old California.
When we formed our club station, KA6LMS, Amanda and Jeff dropped by as special guest operators to make some contacts.
73 QRZ Kilo Alpha 6 Lima Mike Sierra.
Whiskey Uniform 9 Bravo.
Whiskey Uniform 9 Bravo. You just pushed me out of my chair. Real strong signal. You're 5 and 9.
Thank you. You're 5-9 near Phoenix.
All right. Thanks for Phoenix there. 73 QRZ KA6 LMS.
Our club members and special guest operators have made a number of activations from the actual radios on set. Ham Nation co-hosts often check into our weekly activations to lend their support.
Yeah, November, Victor 9 Lima. Hey, Laura. KC6L.
Hi, is this Valerie?
It is. How you doing?
Good. I'm looking at your card here on the wall. Thank you for the contact. You sound great.
Yeah, you guys are really loud here, but I got a 6/6/6 monster
There's a
stack
huge
pointed right at
antenna.
your head, so you sound good. Keep up the good
Tell her we're on a
work. Thanks for
dipole.
working me.
Okay, yeah, we're on a dipole here.
We're over 50 QSOs right now on 20 meters, which is pretty good because we've lost most of the East Coast, likely due to the gray line coming over.
We especially appreciate Bob's assistance, and if you watch the show, you may see a number of Heil mics in use.
Oh, baby, baby blue. Series is the promise to Neverland. Demons breed humans to be super intelligent because the smarter they are, the more delicious they taste.
Of course, in each of our 9 seasons, we've had the latest in Icom gear, thanks to the support of Ray Novak.
The problems I had working HF Mobile over.
This season, we have an IC 7300 side by side with an IC 9700. Over the years, we've had a lot of different Comet antennas on the roof, thanks to Mick Swartnick. Here's our Comet GP6 for 2 meters and 70 centimeters, and here's our Comet GP95 for 2 meters, 70 centimeters, and 1.2 gigahertz. This season, we're using a Radio Waves 40-meter, 20-meter fan dipole, thanks to Emmett Holensee. As we shoot our 21 episodes for Season 9, we'll be looking for opportunities to work your station and get you that special KA6 LMS QSL card. So from Last Man Standing to Ham Nation, we say thanks and 7-3.
Thank you, Josh, for playing that.
How
I got to
cool is
ask
that?
you about, do you remember how noisy the bands were?
We saw it
when
on
you were
part of
on
that
set?
video.
Like, it was just like in real life, though, you're just like, it is
It's
so
difficult.
noisy. It was,
Yeah.
we could only pick out like the biggest, baddest stations. And Virginia, we got you. I remember working you. So that was fun. She pounded through, and I think we could only use 40 meters because 20 was just like heavily noisy. So anyhow, okay.
My
Thanks,
solution to
John,
that
for
was
sharing that.
FT8.
Good stuff.
I just did FT8.
Were you doing FT8 back then in like
Yeah.
2019? Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, it was a fun time, and you know me, I'm a phone girl. So
I know.
okay, yes, touch lamps. I think it was everything. All right, Gordo, how was your last weekend? And tell us what's coming up here soon for everybody to join in on.
All right. Well, the last weekend, Amanda, was great, and we had over 500 hams come down to our lonely spot in the sand, 5 miles south of Quartzsite, Arizona. And what a great time we had. The best, though, was the aurora. We could sort of see it on our cell phones. You couldn't see it with our good old eyeballs, of which I have one that's failing, unfortunately. But nonetheless, it was wonderful. And 500 Hams had a great time, and a bunch that we worked on the air. Well, coming up is Orlando Hamcation. And indeed, it's more than just a ham show. It's a vacation where everything is happening in Orlando, Florida. So let's take a jump and see what's happening at Hamcation. Now, Orlando Hamcation is celebrating not 10, not 50, but 80 years since the very first one, under a different name, but some of the same people. So 80 years, they know how to do it right. In fact, they're number 2 as the nation's and actually the world's largest ham radio fest. February 13, 14, and 15, which coincides with the American Radio Relay League Southeastern Division Convention. It's all rolled up into one. And the league also has a mini convention of their own going on for the section in that area. So Central Florida Fairgrounds, about 8 or 9 acres, has plenty of room for all of the Hamcation folks. And the Orlando Amateur Radio Club works on this for an entire year under the direction of a ton of folks there doing seminars and doing everything. John Knott, Mike Bannigan, Kevin, Michael Colley, the general chairman, pull off Ham Nation. So for seminars, they filled up so many rooms with commercial exhibits and swappers. Seminar folks had their own special tent with a view. Yeah, well, what kind of view? Well, on the Florida campground is a big, huge lake. And I don't know if there's any alligators in there. John Knott would not tell me that. But nonetheless,
it's Florida. There's alligators in there.
And there's air conditioning in the tents. They air condition the tents.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I noticed that they have acres of RV parking where it's only footsteps to get to the activities. So we looked at that, and they even have a stream that goes downstream. And this is where a lot of the outside swaps go on. The RVers just pull right up. Need to make a reservation, but they got plenty of room. And by the way, for those that drive there, plenty of room for parking. And it is a full-fledged 3 days fun in the sun. And I suppose if you're real brave like Josh, who's going to be there doing his YouTube, you could even take a plunge. Now, Josh, are you ready for some cold water in Florida?
No, Gordo, I will respect the Gators. I will not be going anywhere near their property. I think they've claimed that. So I will not be in the water. But I do always try and take an image of it because it is really beautiful. Walk past the swaps as you go out the last building, and it's just a wide open expanse. It's quite lovely.
Well, good. And you're going to have YouTube rolling the whole time, I'm sure?
Yes, I will be live at least once, but usually we do 2 live streams where we show the floor and then we show the hot deals at the swaps, because this is one of the better swap meets you can go to at these larger events. They're like those top ham fests have some of the best ham swaps ever. I've found a ton of stuff, including I saw an Outbacker one time, even at the swap, but it was too big to go in my luggage, so I didn't end up picking it up, and it bums me out. I should have got it.
Well, I have spares, so see me later after the show. So anyway, Orlando Hamcation, now doing almost 80 years of history, is really making things happen. They're number 2 on the world's largest ham fest, with only the Dayton Hamvention as number 1, which they should be indeed. But as you can see, if you get there bright and early in the morning, you can go ahead and walk the swap. And there's plenty of RVs and tons of swap stuff on the acres of RV parking. So if you're driving there, that's a good way to go. A lot of emergency groups in Florida, because they get a lot of stuff happening, especially when those hurricanes come or Virginia moves in there. And I'm right behind her going, oh my gosh, what kind of weather is this? It's wonderful, except for now and then. And the emergency groups down in Orlando, Florida, really do a good job. But the best part is they have a lot of outside displays. So this particular Ham Fest, when you step out of the door of one exhibit hall, and they have 3 exhibit halls to hold the hundreds of vendors, you run right into a lot of outside displays. And these are working displays with hams. Well, there's a working inside display. That's Bob Innerbetson. Bob is with the American Radio Relay League. And let me tell you, he makes things happen. And the ARRL will have quite a presence at the Orlando Hamcation. They'll be doing with Steve Goodgame instructor seminars. They'll be doing group meetings. They'll be having special sessions with kids. The ARRL is making things happen. And I'm very happy to see that Bob has been nominated and will be the banquet speaker on Saturday night. So, Bob, do well, because Bob just makes things happen from the inside out. Well, talk about exhibitors. All of the major exhibitors and even minor exhibitors and even controversial exhibitors with radios will be there, and they're all welcome. We love it when we see all sorts of competition among exhibitors and even some on the ham radio service. But by golly, they brought them all in, and that's the best way to get things rolling for ham radio, because we need those radios that work on multiple different bands, or else we're going to lose those microwave bands. So there's the South Hall, the West Hall, make that the East Hall, the West Hall, and the North Halls, all with the commercial exhibitors, with even a few more that are in some of the other areas. And of course, my Gordo books will be there. But unfortunately, I won't this year because I'm visiting my ophthalmologist that says glaucoma is not a good thing for you. So that's my battle here. And I'll keep an eye out, I hope. Try to make a little fun there. But the exhibit halls are sparkling clean. Everybody has the professional exhibit hall booths, and they are 2 booths and 3 booths, because everybody realized that at Orlando, they make things happen. And it's just amazing, the hundreds of Orlando volunteers. Well, here's one of the 2 buildings you got to get into, and these are the swap meet buildings. Now, there's swap meet outside, but there's also huge swap meet inside. And if you look at it, it is packed. There's some commercial dealers, just a ton of hams unloading stuff that, well, you got to have a spare. You know how hams are. Well, you'll find plenty of spares here in the big buildings that have a lot of the swap meet activity. By the way, in going to the Ham Fest, and they have free parking right outside the Ham Fest doors. No shuttle buses necessary. You can actually tune in on AM radio, crank it all the way to the left for AM 610 radio. That is the AM radio, 610 kilohertz, not 16, but 610 kilohertz. And that is going to be a special station, a low power station that will guide you into the parking lot and tell you all that's going on. So when you're headed there, be sure and tune in 610 on your AM radio dial, or many of the ham rigs that pick up AM radio, and you'll get more information. And let me tell you, they got enthusiasm in these halls. Here's Western Union ready to get out that telegram. Boy, there's a word. And they have a fun time pounding brass and inviting folks to come in and pound brass with them. Oh, I think that's probably what they used to get down to 610. What do you think? It looks, yeah, I think the inductance may be enough for 610. And of course, what's a ham fest without a hot dog? But I mean, they have everything there, so you'll never go hungry. So one of the best parts about Orlando is they thought about everything. And on their awards night, they're going to be giving the Carol Perry Educators Award, so well deserved by those that are teaching ham radio. And my award is the Gordo Ham Ambassador Award, and that'll go to those club officers, of which they picked one, a club member, that just goes out there and makes things happen in recruiting ham radio and making ham radio happening. So a big thanks to all those that roll these conventions. In a couple of weeks, we'll talk about our local Yuma convention out here in California. But for right now, we're about 2.5 weeks away from Orlando Hamcation. And I've got to tell you, John Knott, Mike Bannigan, Kevin, Michael Colley, they make things happen. And thanks to the Orlando Amateur Radio Club for making this just an exciting convention that, except for this time, we always enjoy. And the American Radio Relay League, with Year of the Club, is going to also be inviting those amateur radio instructors to stay tuned to all I'm doing out here on the West Coast to get more instructors signed up and taking advantage of all that League has to offer on supporting volunteers teaching ham radio. So, Amanda, that's my story, and I can't wait to hear all of the great reports in a couple more weeks of those that went to Orlando, spotted Josh with a microphone and probably a camera, and is having just a great time. Amanda?
I heard Josh carries a little bit more than just a camera and a microphone.
Yeah.
In fact, I heard it's like this pack that
he's got a whole
would
chest
kill
rig going.
5-year-olds. Yeah, like if it fell on a 5-year-old, I believe they would die.
It's very
maimed
serious.
at the very least. Yeah.
So anyhow, I do have Brett asked a great group question, and this is neither the time nor place, but I'll forget if I don't ask it now. So with 60 meters becoming the changes to 60 meters, are there new radios coming out with the mods already built into them? Gordo or Josh, either one of you know, or do we all have to modify our radios now?
I'll take the first one.
Okay.
On 60 meters, those radios that have 60 meters, most of them, they have them channelized, but you go to that third channel, pop it in the VFO, and if you're real careful and not go beyond the band edges, we've got many kilohertz of wander room for the digital modes, so all the CW or the FT8 is not the exact same frequency.
Okay. So speaking of like modding them, Josh, or if there's new radios coming out with the open 60 meter band, my thing, I'm going to go back. So for Mars, you needed 60 meters a lot, and people modded their radios, but they lost other functions. Do you see this as everything's going to start coming out with 60?
Yes. I think that we're going to see the firmware just be able to have that space locked in. But I think Gordo's totally correct, is that, yeah, a lot of radios will put you in that channel spot, but you can still VFO your way around, and as long as you're following the directions, right, with your band privileges, you should be fine.
I'm sure more will come out on people trying it out once because when does that take? When does that start? February?
Now.
Oh,
No,
I thought it wasn't until February.
I think they announced it in December, and it went live in January. I think that's my understanding. It's usually 30 days after the initial.
Yes.
On the Kenwood transceivers, many Kenwood transceivers in their 10th memory position have band edges, which allows you to actually memorize that band edge, low, edge, top. So you can, without having to keep your eye on the dial, just tune around and it'll automatically revert back to the bottom of the band and work up.
Well, that's handy.
So if you have a Kenwood radio, take a look at that special 10th memory position that allows you band edge to band edge,
I'm gonna
and
have
you
to look at
create
that.
the band edge. But be sure and leave enough room that you don't slop over each end of the band.
Yeah.
Good
Because
to
you
know.
have 1 watt of power, and you know what a watt of power can do on 60 meters VFO.
Cause a wad of hurt? I don't know. Okay.
We did get
Anyhow.
a question really early in the show before Gordo's segment, and it came from a friend of ours, Mark. I'll ask it real quick. Gordo, did you used to be a paramedic, and were you partnered with a John Thompson?
Yes, I was.
And
I was a medical technician on ambulance. Yep, I do
and he
remember the
says, if
name.
so, he says hi. So hi, Gordo, from
Aw,
John.
how
Good
cool is
days.
that?
We used to do 2 meters while rolling code 3 and gave a special QSL of our ambulance.
Oh,
Neat.
wow, that's crazy. I love that. Oh, very good.
That's awesome. And someone says February 13th for 60 meters. So
Okay,
that is
ARRL.
not official.
The ARRL outranks me. Let's go with February 13th.
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and say that.
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
higher power.
Well, and speaking of radios, we're going to hear from Icom.
The season is all about connection, and Icom keeps that spirit shining with amateur radios that deliver clarity, reliability, and reach. Every call travels further, every friendship feels closer, and the airways become a place where the season's warmth never fades. Whether you're catching up with familiar voices or discovering new ones, Icom keeps every signal bright. Happy New Year from Icom. The IC7300 MK2 builds upon everything operators loved about the original IC7300, elevating it to a sharper, cleaner, and more capable HF experience. Its improved RMDR, lower phase noise, enhanced cooling, and expanded I/O options make it the next level performer for serious operators who want crystal clear reception, rock solid transmit quality, and modern conveniences that fit today's operating styles. The result is an HF 50 MHz transceiver that feels familiar yet unmistakably evolved. Improved RMDR and phase noise, lower heat generation and reduced power consumption, HDMI output for external displays, USB Type-C with dual COM ports, built-in CW decoder and audio peak filter, and RX antenna in and out connectors. The ID52A Plus is Icom's most advanced handheld for operators who want powerful digital capability, wideband flexibility, and a modern interface that brings the airways to life. With expanded D-Star performance, an upgraded 2.3-inch color display, enhanced Bluetooth functions, and simultaneous dual-band monitoring, the ID52A Plus delivers a richer, more connected experience wherever you go. It's the next evolution of handheld communications, compact, capable, and unmistakably Icom. Heard it, worked it, logged it. For more information about Icom's amateur radios and to locate a dealer, please visit icomamerica.com/amateur today.
A huge thank you to Icom. We appreciate the support here on Ham Nation. Every time we go live, there's a link in the video description. It's the first link. If you click it, it'll bring you up to this website. And you can enter to get into the swag pack giveaways. Every time we're live, we give away 3 swag packs. And then at the end of the month, which that's this episode, we give away a radio. And this show, we're giving away a V3500. So you got to click that button to be able to get into the giveaway, right? And the list right now is small, right? It starts growing at the beginning of the year, so there's not a lot of people on the list. More of a reason to sign up. But for the swag pack giveaways, we got Mark M KD4TFH, Bill C WK4F, and Brian B KT3X. And for the grand prize for January, the winner of the 3500 is Damon M W9MOA. So congratulations to all the winners. And reminder, all those swag pack winners go into the award for the giveaway for next month when they're giving away a ICVX V86. There we go. So take the link in the video description. Huge thank you to Icom. We very much appreciate the support. And we're on back to Amanda, actually. So Amanda, what's going on over there?
It's all me, but it's not all me because I have Virginia with me in V5F. How you doing, Virginia?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us tonight. Super appreciative of that. Ginny had she said, hey, when you have time, can I jump on the show and talk about my QSL card designs? And I was so busy, I didn't respond. But then I had this opening and I said, come join us. Get on, girl. So she's here with us. Thank you. And all of those, I've watched Ham Nation for years and years and years. Virginia's been on numerous times with Bob and helped build one of his showcase pine board projects, right?
Yes, I did. I was looking at pictures of that earlier today when I was getting ready for this, and this is a good show I got to be on because you guys are doing the Last Man Standing retrospective and lots of stuff, bringing back a lot of memories of when you guys were on there, and I got to talk to you, and I actually was looking for QSL cards to show this evening, and I saw my Last Man Standing QSL cards in
Oh, that's cool.
my book, and it's just kind of neat that you guys ran that this evening.
I'll tell you, that was a lot of work.
That I could tell you guys were working hard.
Yes. Yes. I mean, we had to do the QSL cards. So for however many contacts you made on the set, John sent you the QSL cards and was like,
Yes, I
"Get to
remember
work."
that you guys had to do those, which I thought was great because when I got a QSL card, I knew it was like written by you or
Yes.
whoever else I
Mhm.
worked at the time. So,
And sometimes
but
I'd
it's
put in my own little like things. Yeah, so that was fun. Well, last time you were on the show, you brought Johnny Five alive, sort of.
oh, sort of trying to make him alive. That was Halloween of 2023.
Oh,
I think.
wow.
Was it really
Been
that
that
long ago?
long?
Yes,
No.
it's been that long.
Wow.
Yes, it has been. It's been that long. I've
Well,
made
I
a little
have
bit of
60
progress.
gray hair since then. Oh my goodness. So you are making progress though.
A
Johnny's
little
getting
bit of
closer.
progress.
Yeah.
I didn't do much work on him in 2025. And I kind of got back to it at the end of the year last year. And my goal was to finish building his head by the end of last year. It did not happen, but having a goal at least gets you, it kind of gets you going. I did bring one of his eyes over here. It is partially built. So it's kind of
Josh,
cool.
I don't know if do you have a full picture
Oh,
of Johnny
wow.
Five to show us to remind
I
everybody what
So
Johnny Five looks like?
don't know if it works that way on. Is it in? Oh wait, hold on. I think I might be able to
this
do it
is
that
a
way.
very small part of Johnny Five, and his eyes they go far back in his head, and they're full of all these gadgets that make them articulate, move, and the iris opens and closes, and they light up and everything. So that's going to be quite a thing when I get it done. And then I also have the little eye flaps with the servo that these will
Yes.
move up and
Oh.
down. So got
I
those,
found
and
something off the website, so I think I
Okay.
remember. Yeah. Oh, there's all the boobs. I remember that too. Yeah.
yeah, got the boobs. I actually have one with me. I have the flagship one here.
I was about to ask
Wow.
for the boob.
Wow.
Yeah,
Now-
they're still around. Now that at the bottom of that
Oh.
page, I think is a frame from the Ham Nation show that I was on.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
before,
I
and-
was wearing a cowboy hat. Yes, I see it.
Yes, it was Halloween. You were a cowgirl, I think,
It
and
was
I was a
Halloween,
Star
yeah.
Trek. I was a Star Trek communications officer.
Okay. Okay.
And that Johnny Five head that's there is my friend Sean's. And I wish I had brought a picture of his Johnny Five. He finished building his last year or year before last, and I actually didn't get to see it until Christmas. A couple months ago at Christmas, I got to see it, and I guess it was about a month ago now, month and a half ago. I actually got to go on to an event with him, and it was the first time I had seen it fully constructed, and it is beautiful. It's so
Now these
so
pictures
well
that
done.
these pictures that Josh is showing are all parts that you've built. and
Those are
put
parts that
together.
I've built. Yeah, those are
Okay.
Johnny Five parts, and I can show you what I've got done of like his head if I can get it over here without dropping it. It is.
We don't want you to
His-
drop it though.
He doesn't have his eyes yet, but there's his head without his
Oh,
eyes.
wow.
Wow.
Wow,
he's
that's too cool.
Got these neat vents on the side and all this cool junk on top that's just for show. But those are all, that's all the stuff on top is like 3D printed, 3D models, 3D printed
Mhm.
of all these old school like resistors and Anderson plugs and heat
Oh
sinks
yeah,
and
those are
playback heads.
Andersons, and there's a heat sink.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an Anderson.
Yeah, there's
yeah.
a bunch of heat sinks and tape deck heads and all kinds of crazy old school stuff that they just like stuck on the robots, you know,
Yeah.
when they were making the movie. They're just like, oh, let's just stick a bunch of cool stuff that looks, you know, high tech. But
That
yeah,
reminds me
candy
of
for the
Star
camera.
Wars. Didn't they use like Black and Decker parts
Yeah.
and like
Mhm.
all kinds of little
yeah,
random
you just spray
parts.
paint it and it looks totally technologically
Yeah,
advanced.
high tech.
It's all
It's
eye candy for the
futuristic.
camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this thing, Johnny 5 has to be totally expensive to build.
Yes,
so
I don't even want to think about it.
And so, I mean, so you try to like fund that your very side project, and you don't go all out and be like, fund my project for me. So
No, no.
you sell your art, and
Yeah, I sell prints of my artwork, and Josh has HAL 9000.
Yeah,
up
look at
there.
that. That's a great one.
I did
Look
3D
how
print
good
HAL
that is.
9000, and he was a side project.
That's so cool.
So yeah, I try to sell art prints. I have on my website that Josh is showing there. I have a link to some of the sites where I sell like some of my artwork on T-shirts and art prints, and then one of the other things I do is that I've done for years is I design QSL cards, and I guess it was probably back in about 2015 or so I started kind of advertising. 2017 or 2018 that I started advertising that I designed QSL cards, because I had designed my own, and I got a lot of compliments on it, and I thought, well, you know, I can do these for other people. And there's a few other artists out there that design them. There's a guy named Jeff Murray who did them for a long time, and I think he's kind of retired from
he
doing
does not
them.
do them anymore.
Yeah, and he sent some people my way whenever I get a request. A lot of times it's somebody who says he sent, you know, they say, well, he sent them to me because he kind of retired from doing them. He likes to do cartoons still, but he kind of quit doing the QSL cards. So I've very much appreciated his appreciation of my artwork, because his artwork is very good. So
Well, I love both for different reasons. So yours is very, very detail oriented, and I don't know how you even envision what people's shacks look like. I'm sure you see photos and stuff, but you get the feel for their character and everything so well. Because I've seen so many, of course, everybody, you know, sometimes I print some of the cards for
Yes.
Ginny's customers. And when I see them, I'm like, oh gosh, she nailed it. And I've known some of them personally, and it's pretty cool. So
yeah, I've had a good time doing those, because people will, a lot of times they'll know exactly what they want, and they'll tell me what they want. And like that one that's up there now, that's a colored pencil illustration. This gentleman wanted a sort of a portrait of himself, kind of as a cartoon of himself in a very overstuffed library with his radio on the desk and stacks of books and magazines, and I had a really good time doing that one. He had a good description of what he wanted, but he just said, just draw something.
I love
And,
that. That's a great one.
Came up with that design, and he really liked it, and I had a really good time doing that one. It was very different.
It feels cozy.
So
it's a cozy.
It does.
He
Yeah,
looks
he
like
wanted
a
it to
cozy
be
reader right there.
Yeah,
And
he
it's
wanted it to be
unique.
very cozy. Yeah. And then this one, that's the back of it, but the next picture should be the front of it. I did that
Oh.
one for Emmett.
Yeah.
how
Yep.
cute.
A few Christmases
Yep.
ago. He wanted he was doing a radio with Santa thing, and he wanted a card, and he wanted a booth driving the Icom 1. So I drew that for Emmett. I think it was like back in 2017, or no, it was 2019. I think
That's
it was
great.
2019. I was there for Thanksgiving visiting, and he told me he wanted that. And then this one is a t-shirt
That's really cool.
that I did for the 3916 nets.
Oh yeah.
They put on a little convention every year up in Branson called Hamboree, and Pete Thompson, who runs that, gets me to design a t-shirt every year. And they had this character that someone else had come up with years ago called Freddie the Freewheeler, because they have the Freewheelers net. And I kind of reworked Freddie and fleshed him out. And in this one, he has a family, and they're all going to Branson. That's one of my favorite t-shirts.
I like
I've
that.
done.
That's nice.
That's
So,
cute.
yeah, I do a shirt for him every spring. And then if you go to the neck, that's the back. I'll always do
Oh.
the back. I'll do the back of the card with it. This was last year at about this time. This guy wanted something with martial arts and goats and chickens because he loves martial arts. He's an instructor and he raises goats and chickens. And he loves CW. So I did ninja goats, and a ninja chicken.
That is so amazing.
That's
the
hilarious.
keepers of the keepers of the sacred code.
I love
great.
that.
Yeah, he loved that. He just kind of let me run with that one. This is Andrea Slack's
Oh,
card.
yeah.
And
Oh,
she
yeah.
just said, I want something with Boov and cats and the rover. So that's what I came up with. She gave me like free range. She just said, I want these things, draw something. So that's what I
awesome.
came up with. So, and then that's the back of a card that I kind of designed for myself that I've not ever printed. If you go to the next one, it should be
Whoa.
one of my little alien characters on the bow of a USS Batfish in space submarines.
There you go.
So that's just one I did
It's
for
very
myself.
Battleship Yamato of you to go with a submarine in
Yes,
space.
I love that show from when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
And I had kind of forgotten about it. And then I did these space submarines. And then this friend of mine, who's one of my music students, he reminded me of that. And
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like, I guess maybe that idea was like latently in my brain or something. But I have this whole idea for a story about space, World War II submarines in space.
I love it.
And then this gentleman wanted one that looked like one of the old like Gill cartoons from QST. And so he said, can you draw me kind of in that style? And so I drew him in a little environment with his dog and a outdoor station and some kind of crazy, he wanted some kind of weird antenna. I'm not sure what that antenna is, but he just gave me a picture of it and I drew it and he's like, yeah, that's great. So this one was real funny. That's the back of it. And it's this guy from Alabama. And I think he works at some kind of a nuclear power plant. Because if you go to the
cooling
front
stacks
of
are in the
it,
background. Oh,
yeah, if you go to the front of it,
that's
there's him. And then he wanted
great.
his cat. He wanted his cat on the back in a radiation suit. So that's
funny.
That's a good
was.
one. That's really cool.
So I had a good idea. I had a good time with that one. And this one is my friend Mary Stephen, or she's remarried. Her name is Mary Malilo, and her call sign is AE6Q, and she's in the Chandler, Arizona club. And she asked me to do a QSL card
That's
for them.
cool. I like it. Really
Just a
good
real
color.
I do too.
graphic.
I love the colors of that.
Oh, that's
graphic
awesome.
look.
That's
That
a
one's
cool
cool.
one.
That one is a neat one. That guy is
That's Jim.
Yeah, Rita from Wild Arl, her husband. And he was a naval ordnance like expert or specialist or something, and he wanted this, Navy diver in the old school suit.
Hard hat diver, yeah.
I love that. Diving bell.
Yeah, that one came out really neato. I really liked that one. And then there's my
so
old
cool.
card.
I have one of those laying around here, yeah.
That's kind of what got me started doing this. That is based on a window that's in Prague. And they have these passages you walk through between buildings, and they're like little malls. And in the end of one of those, there's this big stained glass window, and it has that radio wave on it, and it says Tesla, and it's the Tesla radio window. They used to have in Czechoslovakia. They used to have a chain of stores called Tesla, and it was like the Czech Radio Shack.
Wow.
And so I took the Tesla logo and that stained glass window, and I copied the window and I put my call sign on there.
Was it the same typeface too for the Tesla?
Yes.
That's a
yes,
great
it's that
typeface.
kind of
Yeah.
deco-looking
Super cool.
typeface. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The real window, if you look up Tesla stained glass window Prague, you can find pictures of it.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
then there's Rita's card.
That's awesome.
She wanted an airplane with her portrait on it. And then that is the masthead of my QSL website. It's called sparksqsl.com. And if anybody wants a QSL card, go to sparksqsl.com.
Oh,
And
and
just
the
know that
different-
Drop me a line.
it's funding Johnny 5.
It's one of the things that's
yeah.
hopefully helping fund Johnny 5. And that's a cartoon of me in my favorite cartoonist, Berkeley, Breathed, and Bloom County is one of my favorites. And I drew myself in a booth in his in a similar style. I don't think I'm as good of a drafts person. He's one of my favorite cartoonists of all time.
That definitely has a Bloom County vibe.
Yeah, that's Bloom County. That's my Bloom County.
Can people find your QSL site off of Ginny the Nerd website that we are showing? Because otherwise, I'm going to need the other URL. Is it go through there?
I don't know that it does. I did give Amanda the other URL, but I don't know if it made it.
It's okay. What is it?
It's just sparksqsl.com.
.com. Okay. Sorry. Okay, good.
There it is.
There, all right. Excellent.
I
Excellent.
got it.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, and my email for that is nv5f@sparksqsl.com.
Excellent.
And then that's Ginny the Nerd site is just all my other artwork.
Beautiful.
So
nicely done.
Great job, Virginia.
Thanks, guys. I love drawing QSL cards. I have a good time doing them. I've done some for friends. I've done some for, people that Amanda knows, or I've done them for all kinds of people. A lot of them I've done for
Yeah,
friends.
I'm gonna have to put a link to your design on my website. That way they can see some different styles, because I'm not like illustrative, artistic at all.
You do good with the photo layouts.
Yeah,
though.
I'm like a
people send you the
photo
layout.
with the cool fonts and
Yeah, yours are awesome because I've seen of your samples on your website. So, and I have sent a lot of customers to Amanda. She does such a beautiful job. Yeah, she does such a beautiful job. So
I mean, it's standard. Like, that is the standard if you get a postcard done anywhere for a deluxe postcard. That's what it is. But I just don't charge a lot. And I think that
your prices are great.
That is the secret.
That
is
is
amazing. They're great.
There's some these are the actual cards in print. This one's funny. My friend Tom in 5HYP, he's an AMSAT aficionado, and he's kind of one of the big AMSAT guys in this area. And he asked me for a card, and so I had fun doing that one of him with his satellite antenna. And then here's that funny cartoon guy with the cats cartoon card with the guy with his cats, and his antenna's on fire and his tubes are smoking, and
those are great.
And he's like, I promise I'm working low power. And I had fun with the cats. They came out really funny on that one. And then here's Andrea.
I like the back of that one too, with the cat looking over the contact.
He's looking at the log. Yeah. Looking at
the back of that. Yeah.
And then here's Andrea's. I actually did have a QSO with Andrea. This is a real.
Oh yeah, look at that.
QSL card.
You got your art back in the mail.
Yes, I did.
That is so fun to receive your own stuff back.
Yes.
Because my stuff I drop ship a lot, so I don't actually see the finished product in front of me, and so it's fun to see it. So, well, Virginia, thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate
I am thrilled to be here. It's been so long, and it's just so much fun to see. I haven't been to a big ham fest in a long time, so I don't get to see y'all. I haven't been to Dayton in a while, and I keep saying, oh, one of these days I'm going to go to Hamcation and Huntsville, and there's just so many good ones, and I just haven't been to one in a while. So
maybe soon then. Well,
maybe
everyone
soon.
Follow Virginia and go check out her website. So thank you,
so
honey.
Cool to have you on tonight. We really appreciate
I'm so happy to be here. I will be happy to chill out for the rest of the show. And
fantastic, because we have a great time at the end of the show with my Ham It or Can It segment, so you'll love it.
And come back anytime.
Anytime.
Your family.
All right.
Actually,
Thanks,
I'm putting
guys.
together a female show, a YL show. So
good.
You can help me co-host it.
I will be there.
Okay. Oh yeah, there's so many new up and coming females in amateur radio. It's hard to figure out which ones to pick to come join us, but I think I'm getting a good lineup. So, all right, we got to go to Amateur Radio Newsline. So, Don, it's
Yeah, let's go
all
ahead and
you.
do that. We've got a nice report from another great YL, Dr. Tamitha Scove, with the latest solar update right after the news of the week from Amateur Radio Newsline. From Amateur Radio Newsline, report number 2517. This is Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. Our top story this week is the most severe solar radiation storm in more than 20 years.
It began on Monday, January 19th, and lasted through much of the week. The National Weather Service declared the storm to be at an S4 level, a degree of severity not seen since October of 2023. S4 is the second highest level of this type of storm. The storm's severity, which exceeded that of the one in October of 2023, disrupted the HF bands, challenging ham radio operators while creating spectacular auroral displays.
Newsline anchor Stephen Kinford, N8WB, for everything regarding solar and space weather and how it affects the amateur radio hobby and more. Follow Dr. Tamitha Scove, WX6SWW, on X at Tamitha Scove and at spaceweatherwoman.com. NASA's Artemis II mission began its long-awaited journey to the moon and back on Saturday, the 17th of January, with the rocket's rollout onto the launch pad at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. 3 of the 4 astronauts who will be aboard have their amateur radio licenses.
If all goes well, astronauts Reed Wiseman, KF5LKT, Victor Glover, KI5BKC, Jeremy Hansen, KF5LKU, and Christina Cook could be poised for liftoff as soon as early February on the Artemis II test flight. Though the crew won't be touching down on the moon's surface, the test flight's 10-day journey will establish a path for an eventual longer human presence on the moon. In fact, it will be a springboard, in a manner of speaking, to send the first NASA astronauts to Mars. By the time the quartet splashes down in the Pacific Ocean, their journey will have taken them the farthest from Earth that any crewed mission has ventured. This will be the first human spaceflight to the moon in more than 50 years. Last year, the U.S. Space Agency asked hams with the necessary capabilities to observe the Doppler shift on the spacecraft's S-band return link carrier signal. The spacecraft's S-band range is between 2200 and 2290 megahertz. Volunteers will not be transmitting or uplinking signals. This is Travis Lisk, N3 ILS.
Competitors and volunteers are getting ready for the 2026 World Radio Sport Team Championship in July, but organizers are looking a bit farther down the road to 2030.
A competition of sorts is taking place among would-be hosts for the 2030 World Radio Sport Team Championship, and the organisation's sanctioning committee has set a deadline of the 15th of February to receive letters of intent. The letters should include the proposed timeframe and location, the estimated budget with fundraising plan, and identify the officers and organising committee. Letters of intent or questions about the host selection process should be sent to dougk1dg@gmail.com. The committee would like to announce the next host during the closing ceremony of WRTC 2026 in July in the UK. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With Stephen Kinford, N8WB, Travis Lisk, N3ILS, Graham Kemp, VK4BB, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. Now, here's the solar update from Dr. Tamitha Scove, WX6SWW.
Space weather this week is calming down, although a bit slowly. As we take a look at our Earth-facing disk, we are saying goodbye to the cluster of regions that has been giving us the bulk of the activity over the past week or so, including that big G4 plus solar storm that hit us and gave us some gorgeous aurora all around the world. Now, this set of regions, although it is going to the west limb, we are going to continue to watch it on the sun's far side to see what else it's going to be, what else is going to be coming up. But for us, Yes, right now, what we're interested in is this coronal hole right here that's going to be rotating in through the Earth strike zone here over the next couple days. And all the regions around it, this is where we're going to start seeing unsettled conditions because of the fact that the boundaries of these coronal holes are always a bit unstable as of their own. In fact, you can watch right here, this region, poof, do you see that? That was a big solar storm launch, of course, right at the boundary of this coronal hole. This particular solar storm was not Earth directed, but you can see this gorgeous prominence right here. It launched in a textbook fashion and even gave us nice ribbons up in here. So this region right here, this is region 4355. You can see it here. It's been pretty quiescent since then, but we are keeping an eye on it. Meanwhile, what we're expecting to see is the flare risk to start going down, the radio blackout risk to start going down, and the radiation storm that's been hammering us over the past week or so, which is still at elevated levels, that finally is going to get down to baseline levels back here over the next couple days or so. And this coronal hole, which you'll see again as I flip to 211 angstroms, you can see this nice dark coronal hole here. It shows up much better. This is going to be giving us some small set of fast solar wind over the next, I say a day or two. Might bump us up to storm levels down at mid-latitudes because the Earth has been still pretty rattled from that last big solar storm that we had. But outside of that, we're probably going to be waiting for other regions to rotate into view. We've got a couple regions here. We'll talk about that when we get into the full sun map. But for the most part, things are going to continue to calm down. And now switching to our full sun map, we are looking at the entirety of the sun, but because we don't have an actual orbiter on the far side of the sun, we're using both stereo A imagery and JSOC HMI helioseismology to take a look at the far side of the sun. The front side of the sun here is shown in this case, it's SUVI. This is, all the, from Earth view, this is all the front side right now. The far side is being shown both with stereo A, that's in green, and you've got JSOC HMI helioseismology here in gold. The dark regions are those active regions that we've been following. So as I put this in motion, you're going to see here's the cluster of regions, and you just saw that big pow right there. That was actually the big solar storm launch that gave us a lot of activity, including that big G4 level solar storm. Here was a launch. We just saw it. I'll back it up just a smidge. You can watch that big, beautiful eruption. This is the one that we had just the other day on the 23rd, and that was not Earth directed, but that's right next to this coronal hole here. Now, what we're looking for are new regions that are going to be rotating into Earth view, and honestly, we're not seeing a heck of a lot. We've got old region 4337 and 4334, but really the activity, what we're really seeing is some intense regions that are from, that are really at the center of the far side right now, and we're not going to be seeing those for probably a whole nother week. So it looks like we've got some quiet activity. We might have a little bit of regions rotating into Earth view, but they're pretty minor, not expecting a lot of flare activity from them. And the big story really is not going to hit us over this next week. Things are going to continue to calm down. The solar flux is going to drop a bit, and the flare risk is going to drop a little bit. So amateur radio operators and emergency responders, enjoy this kind of reprieve, because you definitely have earned it after the last week with all that storm activity. And then in about maybe a week and a half to 10 days, then we'll start seeing flare activity build back up again with some of these old regions here on this part of the far side beginning to return. And now switching to our solar storm conditions and aurora possibilities over the coming week, we are having that wind watch for that coronal hole, the fast wind from that coronal hole that's going to be rotating in through the Earth strike zone over the next few days. At high latitudes, NOAA is expecting minor storm conditions. In fact, we may have up to about a 65% chance of a minor storm about the 28th, but that influence could come maybe even starting the 27th. Expect it to last through about the 29th before things begin to calm down, and then it should be smooth sailing after that. Now at mid-latitudes, well, we're only expecting active conditions. Again, we're going to be expecting that wind watch to come into effect sometime late on the 27th into the 28th. We could be seeing some active wind on the 28th and 29th. Only expecting about 25% chance of minor storm conditions. Not expecting a lot of aurora possibilities, but the Earth is still a little bit rattled, so we could see a little bit of aurora, especially through substorming. So aurora photographers, if you're at mid-latitudes, if you're dedicated and you chase those substorms, you might have a little bit of luck here. Now, as we switch to our solar flare and dayside radio blackout outlook outlook over the coming week. We are still sitting at about 160 for solar flux, but that's going to be dropping, as you can see, over the course of this week. We're sitting now at minor noise on the dayside radio bands. NOAA's giving us about a 25% chance of M-class flares. This is at the R1 to R2 level radio blackout, with only about a 5% chance of X-class flares, and that's going to drop really fast down to 1%. We're really not expecting much because all of those bigger regions are rotating to the sun's far side. So things should be pretty quiet as we move in through the weekend. So if there's any contesting or any DXing, now's the good time to do it because you're going to get a decent reprieve. So the space weather this week is calming down compared to last week. Now we do have some fast solar wind from a coronal hole that's going to be rotating in through the Earth strike zone over the next couple days. Aurora photographers, if you're at high latitudes, you could definitely get a chase starting around the 27th and possibly through the 29th. Aurora photographers at mid latitudes, the 28th is probably your best chance, and only if you like to chase substorm should you bother to be out there, especially in this freezing weather we have in the northern hemisphere. Now, amateur radio operators and emergency responders, finally, if you've made it through the solar storm, you've made it through the big solar flares, things are calming down. You should notice less noise on the dayside radio bands, so get out there and get some DX in while you can, because this week looks like a perfect time. Now, as far as you GPS users, same thing goes for you. We do still have a bit of radiation in those polar caps, so that's still causing some issues for you, but as long as you stay away from those poles and away from Aurora, your GPS should look pretty good. I'm Tamara Scove, the Space Weather Woman. Thank you for watching.
All right, another great report from Dr. T. We certainly appreciate her. We appreciate all the Newsline folks as well, bringing us the news of the week for, man, so many years. Since the mid-'70s, Newsline's been around, and I've been a part of it since I got licensed in '95, and so I'm just very thrilled to be able to carry on the legacy of WA6ITF that you see his license plate behind me. So, yeah, so happy to be part of that great team. Great team here, too, and it's time to go look at what's going on with Amanda in Amanda's world.
Well, thank you. And who else is just loving Dr. T's intro
So
to her
good.
video now?
The new answer
feel
is
like
great.
I know.
Yeah.
I just
So cool.
She's
absolutely
really
loving it.
picked up the video production game quite a bit, and she does a lot. I mean, when she was here live, she was telling us she does all that herself. So she's got a home studio, and she
said out
designs
of
the graphics, and
necessity.
she does some amazing things, and she's working with the Geochron folks to do some things. So she's definitely a YL you got to have on the YL show.
Definitely. If she has time, I would.
Yes.
She's got a spot. Actually, she has a spot whenever she wants.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
She could run the show if she wanted
Yeah,
to.
absolutely.
Okay.
We could do an hour on Dr. T.
So it's been a busy week in the amateur radio world, especially for Aries, but I want to show off my QSL card that I did here. This is for our club card, and
neat. The
I'm
Fun
really
Machine.
thrilled with this. Yes, the
I
Fun
love
Machine
that.
linked repeater system. That's Jeff's 12 repeaters, and with it being near the club, so I put together this card, and Colorado is celebrating the 150, 250. So
Wow.
intermix
I like
the
that.
Colorado flag and the US flag, and see, I can get
Yeah.
kind of creative, not like
Yeah.
Virginia creative, but okay.
That's nice.
All
I jump
right.
into that occasionally on Fusion. I need to get back on there.
I love it. I love this new picture.
Oh, this is great.
Do you
Look
like
at
this? I just made this today. So should they have called Aries? Throughout the country this weekend, yes, they should have called Aries. A lot of Aries groups should have been activated on standby and actually maybe even doing work. So if you were in an area that didn't have power outages, or did have power outages and you weren't activated, that's on you. So you reach out, make a better commitment with your emergency manager, or give them an after action of how you could have helped. If your county was without power this last weekend, or is maybe currently still, because I know that there's still power outages, send them your calm plan. Send that to them now and say, for the next time, this is how we could have helped you. And they might actually take it under advisement and invite you to the next planning meeting. So, okay. This guy, I don't like this guy. Craig is very serious about amateur radio, and I've read some of his tweets, but he says, I'm very serious about MCOM. That's why I got a Starlink antenna. A cell phone and Starlink will satisfy every emergency you will ever encounter in this lifetime. So button up
Wrong.
your big boy pants and accept the fact that
Uh-huh.
ham radio is completely obsolete from emergency comms. You are so dead wrong.
Is he being sarcastic?
Wrong.
No, he's not.
Are you sure?
And I am 100% sure, because he has
Especially when
several
you see the
tweets.
not a Rubicon on the replying.
Yeah,
camera.
yeah.
That's-
So
that's what, yeah.
there's several different tweets where he says that Starlink is going to replace amateur radio.
Yeah,
I
that's
just-
bait.
I don't know
and-
how.
Yeah, that's
And I
yeah,
can name
that-
like every single one of us can name 6 reasons why that is a wrong statement. Now, Starlink is going to replace some needs of amateur radio, absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
But my first reason why it's not, doomsdayer here, 100%, just thinking outside of the box of horrible governments. What if they shut off the internet and don't allow you any access? You're still going to have amateur radio. Okay, that's just one. Okay, right there.
Well, just mentioning cell phone and every emergency you will ever encounter in this lifetime in the same sentence is just insane.
Right.
So yeah, that's definitely that. Yeah, he's baiting.
Number 2, the SHTF factor, Brett. We're not carrying our Starlinks up to our mountaintops, and hunters are not taking a Starlink out with them. Neither are hikers. This is ridiculous. Amateur radio is still going to have a purpose for emergency communications or backup communications or your contingency PACE. Okay.
That's right. There it is.
So your contingency or your emergency is always going to be amateur radio.
It's a small pie fallacy concept that like we must pick one. We don't have to pick one. And I prefer the ones I don't have to pay for month by month, and that I have no control of what they're doing. You have no control of what your cell phone is doing or what your Starlink is doing. All of that is completely out of your control, right? So
And again, think about having to travel with all of that stuff. Sodas, POTAs, all the things, carrying all of that extra equipment with you. You got to carry a small router or a switch or something to get you the service. Just no, it's not feasible. Okay. All right. So we're just going to be talking more about some things that were going on this week. It's been a busy few days for us here in Department of Emergency Communications. Since midnight, we've answered more than 2,900 calls via our non-emergency and 911 lines. 500 were weather related.
Wow.
Could we have helped? Yes. If you have an agreement with your emergency manager, this is one of the things we could have taken so many headaches off of these folks that are trained to handle actual emergency calls. We could have been handling we don't have power at this cross street. Grandma doesn't have any oxygen because we have no power. We as Aries people and Oxcom members can handle those calls. We're just a call taker, take the note, and then it goes to the next person above us. Yes, these are ways Aries can help. All right. The FirstNet Response Operations Group. Has anyone ever heard of the FirstNet ROG?
I've never heard of them.
First of all, why did they have to trademark it? Second,
good question.
FirstNet, raise your hand if you have it. Audience, anybody. Jeff has it, and we had it, and it was worse. And a lot of times we were not. What it's supposed to do is FirstNet users are supposed to be first in line, or the upper tier of still receiving service when it starts to get cloggy and bad. And when service starts to go down, FirstNet is still up here, normal user down here. It's never, ever actually worked that way in my experience. And I've had a lot of experiences with it. So when FirstNet, this is why Aries is still relevant. So you see that FirstNet has a response team that goes out and starts sending out these like pods. I think sometimes they call them cows, other times they call them sows, depending on what the acronyms are, but cellular on wheels. Okay. So they start to put these out there, but if the area is crappy, there's no power, there's no streets open, things like that, they might not make it that far, not make it to their destination. So again, amateur radio still necessary, and there's plenty of ways we could have helped this last weekend. And another example here, I'm just showing you what an emergency operations center kind of looks like. It gives you what they're doing. So this is Jersey. And I think this was state emergency operations center. And this is the high end. So most of our EOCs don't look like this. A state EOC, yes, it does.
This is like a group coordinating other groups, right?
Yes.
This
So
isn't the forward facing.
That's what I'm getting at. So I got a big picture of it here. So you can see all of these desks, all of these cubicles. During any emergency, one is assigned for each ESF. Does everyone know what an ESF is? So one is probably for Red Cross to sit there. One is for animal evacuation. One is for utilities. One would be ESF3 communications. So one representative for all of Aries would be sitting at one of those desks. And an Aries person might not actually be sitting there. It would be your COM-L. And they're representing all communications at all levels. So that one person. So when you're like, well, we don't get invited to the EOC, that's why. Because you can't. There's one person that represents, and then they go down the chain of looking for the help after that. So just wanted to show everyone this is like standard what it looks like. They probably have 4 of these big screens going on. And then they have all of their own monitors and things like that. And then on the side
has a specific task assigned to that person.
Yes, absolutely. And the state will have a room with cots so they can stay there. And a great food supply. So that's how a state EOC works. And they don't look like they're stressed out or anything else, because when you are running the emergency, you have to be uninterrupted. So you can't have all the distractions of, oh, the sky is falling. So, you have your weather report up and you're doing your job. That's how a state EOC is. No chaos whatsoever. This is so cute. This Collin County, Texas Aries group put out this cute graphic. Go grab it and download it. It's pretty helpful, and they made it fun. And it's just how to operate ham radio for those that don't remember how to do it, kind of thing. Their excuse was little simplex or repeater activity from licensed amateur radios may have forgotten the basics. So they have a cheat sheet, and it was just really cute. So
that's good. I like that.
Yeah. I'm sure AI helped them put that together, and it looks great.
Nicely done.
It is. It's very clean and simple and easy to read. And here's an Aries group that was actually activated this last weekend. So this was in Pittsburgh, I believe. And these fellas were doing winter field day and then got activated. So they switched from winter field day to actual comms and in assisting during Pittsburgh's wild storm they had.
Wow.
And I would like to follow up with them to see what all they did and how long they operated from. So stay tuned on that. Okay, so now we're into ham or cannons.
We need a transition for you. We need to get Tamitha on.
I know, yeah. Okay. So it's funny, not a Rubicon was obviously wildly busy on Twitter this last week, or
he's very active on Twitter.
Randy's busy guy.
I'm not a fan, but he makes for good content. So I'll leave it at that. Okay. Ham radio seems to attract a lot of grumpy old men, many of whom are probably ASD before it was cool or diagnosed. It would explain the complete lack of social tact. Okay. So I don't give grumpy old men hams a pass. I totally don't. But I don't like for them to put out statements like this that makes it sound like amateur radio is still only old grumpy men, because it's absolutely not. And Virginia and I are here to tell that story.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
2 out of 5 ain't bad, right?
All of us on the show are not grumpy old, like uppity men, but
I will represent the grumpy old men contingent for tonight.
If you look at the beginning of amateur radio, it was highly educated.
Oh yeah,
electric engineers and broadcast engineers and all of the things. You had to have high intelligence because you had to know so much about electronics to build your own radio, and that's what you did. But back in the day, you built your own radio. You built your own.
You can just go down and order your Icom online and 3 days later, the Amazon guy.
They were
brings it in.
not
No, you
appliance operators, right, Don?
built
So
that stuff.
they did, and they put a lot of time and energy into it. And as the hobby has evolved, so have the people that have been getting into the hobby. And
Yeah.
now we're getting even Gen Z who just loves the fact of analog again, and they like that aspect. Now they can't build it on their own, but they're learning, and they're learning how it works. And you can't keep making blanket statements like this, or we're gonna throat punch you. Okay. Magic Blue.
Now who's grumpy?
I can show some flair. So
I know
anyhow,
you can.
all right, this is just so cute. So like totally random, changing wildly the subject. This is just, I love this 3D printed thing, and I think it's just cute, and it adds a little bit of flair to your antenna builds, your dipoles, or what have you. So check out Jason. Jason, doesn't he watch this show? I can't even remember. VE5REV. I think I've seen him in the chat. Maybe it's another 5 call. Anyhow, I digress. It's cute as a button, and I love it. So thanks,
I love
Jason,
the use
for...
of the Wago connectors. Wagos are great, so that's a good little strain relief for linking like a long wire or something like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, but where's the feed line?
Oh, it's like a link for like an end fed or a long wire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just, it's brilliant, and love the color scheme and everything. Of course, I'm an orange and blue kind of girl around here, except for this last weekend when we lost. Okay. Oh, was another emergency thing. To my neighbors in Pittsburgh and Allegheny County, as we face this historic snow and cold, remember that ham radio operators like me are active in monitoring. We're here for emergency comms when other systems fail. Stay safe and warm. Wonderful statement, but who are you there for? That it's fine. Listen, and maybe you might hear somebody in distress call your own people, your own friends, own known club members might be on the repeater saying that they don't have power, and maybe they're looking for an update. Absolutely. As on a personal level, if you don't belong to an Aries group, this is what you should be doing during these snowmageddons and such. So that is your job. And have your internet pulled up at all times, have your radar pulled up, have your road reports pulled up, follow, if you have the internet, follow all of your like law enforcement and emergency management on Twitter, because that's where all of the information is coming out as soon as possible. And they're going to be like, I-80 is closed from forever. Too many cars stuck, and you can give you could just, as a helping hand, you can randomly put those kind of notifications on your local repeater. But if power is out, you might not have your repeaters up and running, because a lot of those sites don't really think about having to need backup power. So have alternative ways to also maybe communicate, or if you're Aries or not Aries. Another thing to think about is to have wellness nets. Pre-plan this, obviously. Like we've been told that this snowstorm was coming for days and days and days. So reach out to your club and say, what's our comm plan? What are we going to be doing? And make sure you're monitoring certain frequencies and maybe checking in top of the hour, bottom of the hour. That's my jam. Top of the hour, bottom of the hour. And listening out. So, and don't waste your repeaters just because they might be on backup power. Any questions about
Good
that?
point.
Anybody? Okay.
Yeah, good. But I mean, simplex, 2-meter simplex, 70 centimeters, wilderness frequency set. Follow the protocols. Be listening, monitoring. I love the idea that you had of just have all the websites up so that you can be of assistance when something arises like that. That's perfect. Great.
And know your non 911 numbers. That's something that it's people don't store in their phones. And if I've had a nickel for every time somebody's like, can you call and see what's going on? Well, you can't call 911 for that, because they're going to be really pissed off at you.
Yep.
So always, and they might be in the county over. So not just your own local county, but have the county next door to you, all of your neighboring counties, so that you can call those.
Yeah.
Those are
Great
important
idea.
numbers. And because I've had to call to see if the county next to me was getting evacuated for fires. And I'm like, I don't know the number. And guess what? They don't just put those non-emergency numbers out there very easily for you to find. So
do you know my street light is blinking? Can you find out for me?
Yeah, so that, yes. Are we going to lose power? Don't call and ask that. My God, do not call
Are
and
we
ask that.
going to lose power? I'd like to schedule my power outage. Can I schedule
Yes,
it?
we're going to send a
Like,
crew out there right now to
if you
cut
could let me
off. You are
know.
gonna lose your power.
And if you could do it at night when I'm sleeping, that would be preferred.
That'd be
Yes.
handy.
Yes,
Yeah, that'd be
that'd be
great.
awesome.
That'd be great.
Okay, so to lighten the mood, I don't know who originally created this logo, but it is so funny. It is so cute. Although the new Starfleet show doesn't look cute, I love this logo.
The original,
Academy? I haven't
right
seen
there.
it yet. I haven't seen Academy yet.
That's the OG insignia.
It is, but
Yeah.
Gordo, do you see what's on it? It has ARRL and W5YI. They're advertising for you, buddy.
Oh, I'm sure that they approve that. Yes.
Oh yes. No, I mean, who cares? It's advertisement. So I think it's awesome. Love the innovation and imagination to create that. By the way, this person that tweeted it, I don't usually like to retweet their stuff because they steal a lot of stuff, but this was cute enough for me to do.
That's good. I like that.
Here we go.
Ooh, wires.
If you
Here we go,
hadn't-
Randy.
Ooh.
Poor Randy. Randy is not here to defend himself. And I had to pick on him so bad because when I came across this photo, I was like, this is a rat's nest. And then I saw who it belonged to. And then I was shocked because everybody has seen Randy's installs, right? And they're beautiful, very meticulously clean and pretty. Evidently, when you go to Quartz Fest, all of that goes out the door.
He did go through a lot, though, right? So this is a
Yes, he
rental
did.
RV. So I think
Yeah.
we could give him that he's in full
I
transient
100%
mode.
give him I give him all the breaks in the world, first of all. But I just found it so humorous that when I looked at it, I didn't realize that it was his, and I was like, "Oh, who am I going to make fun of today?" And then it came up.
But
to
here's
Randy.
here's the important thing, Amanda.
Yes.
It's working.
It is working, and he made some
That's
really
right.
good contacts,
Yeah,
and he
he
had
did.
some successful satellite passes. Although he was saying that the satellites have been really crowded. So,
I'm
as
sure
it
the
says in
sun
here,
didn't help that either. So
since it's a zoo on there, but it was just like he at this point in time, I think he just wanted to get his station up and running so bad that there was like 0 Fs given.
Yep.
By now,
Yep.
and he was just
But
like,
but Randy persevered all the way to Quartz Fest. You
did.
heard what happened?
Yes,
"Oh
we
yes,
did. Yeah.
yes."
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bearing went out. And as he was driving, people were going, "You're on
dude,
fire.
you're on fire.
Yeah, thank you
That
very
is
much.
that is
Have a
every
great-
RVer's worst
Oh,
nightmare.
for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Those
Yeah,
things
it
are
But he
fire magnets.
perceived
Yeah,
he made it to Quartz Fest in style.
he did. Good on him, and I'm glad that he, not everybody would be able to rent a camper. Their trip would just be ruined right there. So,
Yep. 'Tis true.
okay, that's it. That was the end of it. We end on Randy.
I have a
Randy.
quick one to show. I got something
yes,
in the
that's right.
mail today. What's that, everybody? Have you seen one of these before?
Why? That's a Mizuho, Josh. What
That's a
stupid question.
Mizuho. What a stupid question. That's right. So I'm going to put my hand in here for scale. I'm holding it.
That's
Oh,
all I
there
know
goes the
about it.
antenna. Oh my God.
Nope.
That
Yeah.
antenna's gone.
Just put that anywhere.
But yeah, so here is I'm going to tilt it up for you, and I'll zoom
That
in.
old school RF. I mean, the S meter.
So I can't focus on the frequencies.
Well, I'll tell you,
SSB
it's a
CW transmitter.
that is a mono band, 15 meter, single sideband, and CW transceiver. And
15 meters.
It's
huh?
crystal.
handheld.
It's crystal.
I was just going to
controlled.
ask you, is it crystal?
It has an
controlled?
A and
Okay.
B band selection and a little bit of adjustment in there,
Shut
and
up.
it does single sideband and Morse code in body, 6 watts out on batteries, and if you flip it over here, here's the bottom. There's your control. It'll take 9.5 internal, and it'll take 13.8 external. It's got a
good.
built-in attenuator, and you can switch between single sideband and CW. And yes, it'll take external keys, but it has a little push button key there that you can do Morse code with.
Could you imagine?
It's so cool. So
that's wacky.
What's really cool about these is they made them in every band. So you can get one of these on 80 meters, on 40, on 20, 15,
Yeah, I
and
remember
10.
that.
10 and 6 even. 10, 6, 2, I think they have them.
Wow.
They weren't very big. the bandolier
Exactly.
of every band. Yeah, that's right.
What size antenna would you use for 80? I mean, you wouldn't use
Oh,
like
a wire.
No,
you just
Oh,
wire,
that's
right?
definitely
Okay,
wire,
so
yeah.
yeah.
But they make verticals for 15 and 10, and
That's
some of
true,
them are
that's
centrally
true.
loaded and all that stuff. So I bumped into a guy at the W6 TRW that had the 10-meter one that I was really lusting after, and I tried to buy it off him. He would not sell it to me. And I've been trolling eBay for these for like months now, trying to find one, and this
Well,
is
you
the first
know,
one that I could get my hands on.
the next time you run across one of those great big Outbacker antennas that you didn't have enough room to take home in your luggage the last time, there's your answer to what kind of antenna you want to use on
That's
that.
right.
Strap
But-
that Outbacker to your back, and you could cover it all.
And it's got a proper meter, a real meter.
see
and
that.
It flippy
An actual-
floppies around. It's amazing.
An actual moving needle.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Have
Very
you
cool.
are you gonna put this on your show and show
Oh, I'll
everyone
make
how
a video
well it does?
trying
Yeah.
to make a contact or two on it. But I tested
That's
it
neat.
6. It's actually 6 watts out from what I tested, and I was able to hear it on my receiver. The single sideband sounds a whole lot like AM, so I have to figure out if there's a setting that I've got wrong. But
Yeah.
impossible
Or
to find a
maybe-
manual. But yeah,
Was it modified maybe?
I don't know, but it does CW. Does CW just fine. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll just
When
focus
was
on
that thing made? Do you know?
Yeah, they started in 82 or 83, and
I
oddly
started to
enough,
say, yeah.
ceased production in like 2002. Not a very popular
Really?
radio in the States. This is
No.
a Japanese radio, and
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about it yet. I haven't really deep dived it, but I saw them and I'm like, I want one. I want one now.
Yes.
Yep.
That's
if
neat.
if you can put one in your arsenal in your collection, definitely. That's sweet, Josh. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. For
So
those of
there's
us who
mine.
have HT fetishes, thanks.
It's a combination HT and QRP HF radio at the
Yeah.
same time. It's just like
That's
yes,
neat.
yes, yeah, indeed.
All right. Well, we got to wrap this up. You guys are way over time. As I was like gonna tell Josh to bring something extra to the show.
I brought it.
I
He
just
did.
yeah. You
We,
did.
have- we
Thank
never
you.
need
Thank
extra.
you.
We always
No,
go
we
past
do
the
not.
hour.
It's so far gone. Okay. Well, I know that D Star 14 Charlie is still going on, but they're probably getting ready to close it up. So go
Mhm.
join that net and join us in 2 weeks, where I think I'm going to have an AM radio station owner come visit. So
Oh, neat.
Fantastic.
yeah, that'll be fun. And
And
maybe
so
we'll
that
have
will
some
be
updates from
the-
Randy.
That's February 11th, so we could probably call that our Valentine's show.
It should be our Valentine's Day show.
And then I believe Mardi Gras is the 17th, so we could do Valentine's and Mardi Gras on that show.
Okay.
See?
That sounds good.
Love
Well,
to
thank you,
catch the
Virginia, for
bees.
joining us. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've had the best time.
And Tom is saying join us on 7250, 40 meters. Perfect, Tom. Awesome. Thanks
Mhm.
for being there.
Excellent.
So, all right. 7-3,
Excellent.
everybody.
Thank you for watching.
Have a
night.
good night.
73.